I know it might seem like Groundhog Day, and we're going to be talking about the same 4 states again, but, hey, we got some new information in all of them, so we'll get the bad stuff out of the way first and foremost. Pennsylvania Supreme Court is as corrupt as ever. Okay, next story. No, to be fair, I got the article pulled up, so I'll at least tell you what the fuck is going on in Pennsylvania. The Supreme Court turns down effort to challenge the election. This is in regards to the Act 77 lawsuit put forth by Mike Kelly and Sean Parnell. And just goes to show you how useless the Pennsylvania Supreme Court is. Hello, United States Supreme Court, who has actually been active, and I think I'll probably cover that in one of the upcoming videos here. So, anyways, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court denied an application for a stay of its own order related to the certification of election results on Thursday. So it even disagrees with itself after enough time has passed because it's good. Right. In a one-statement order, the state's highest court rejected a filing by Representative Mike Kelly and other Republicans, most notably potential Congressman Sean Parnell. Kelly's lawyer didn't immediately respond to a request for comment because this is like late fucking breaking right now. The group last month sued the state, on the grounds of Act 77 being unconstitutional, and once again they figured it's still not constitutional at all whatsoever, but we can't be bothered about, this thing called the fucking general election. Commonwealth judge several days later blocked the certification of the election results. She said the petitions would likely win the lawsuit because the petitioners have asserted the Constitution does not provide a mechanism for the legislature to allow for expansion of absentee voting without a constitutional amendment. Unless you're the Supreme Court, because that is a lower court judge who made that ruling. It is a very fair ruling because, that is constitutionally allowed for. If you just sign something into law, but it's immediately contradicted by what your, founding document says, you probably have to address that first. But the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, dominated by Democrats, that's why they don't care about the law. That makes sense. Overturned the ruling on November 28th. The court said petitioners failed to file the challenge in a timely manner. Fuck off. Fuck right off. As they had filed their suit more than 1 year after the enactment of Act 77, the law central to the case. You didn't think it was in fucking law yet, because, I've been over it a million times. But long and short of it, the state Supreme Court decision violates petitioners' due process rights and rights to the petition under the 14th and First Amendments of the United States Constitution, and also does not reach the critical issue of the Pennsylvania General Assembly exceeded its powers by unconstitutionally allowing no excuse absentee voting, including for federal offices during the November 3rd election. Petitioners wrote the court filing. The case is Kelly et al. Versus the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We'll be seeing that motherfucker right on the United States Supreme Court's desks shortly. So that's the end of the bad news. And now we go into Michigan? Well, not Michigan, because Rudy Giuliani was testifying in front of a Senate hearing of sorts. It was actually taking place in an official government building. It wasn't in some fucking hotel lobby. This was the real deal. And they brought some real deal evidence. We got some testimony from people who had feet on the ground. Two very attractive women, to be completely honest. So I am liable to agree with them. They do have that air of credibility about them. Witnesses testified in front of the committee for nearly 4 hours. I could not be asked to watch and listen to Rudy Giuliani. We got like the evidence here. He's a smart guy, but listening to him for 4 hours would literally want me to put a moonroof in my skull. They detailed their experiences working at the TCF Center in Detroit during the election when the GOP people were getting escorted out with or without handcuffs. Impressive that they needed to handcuff GOP poll watchers. Every poll worker and all Democrats stood and clapped as they all won a lottery ticket. Fuck off. And that is exactly why I'm going to do this, because that was heartbreaking. Yeah, exactly. Because these people were doing a volunteer job, and they were not getting paid. They all were leaving their work to be here for the country, to ensure election integrity, and they were treated like criminals, and that's not fair, said Hima Kolganareddy, a poll challenger at TCF Center. That'd be that nice woman right there. Throughout the entire night, many employees were conducting theft of duplicate ballots. Oh, that doesn't sound good. So they would come up to the table of duplicate ballots, grab 3 or 4 duplicate ballots, run back to their table, give one to another person at another table, and never complete the duplicate process, said Andrew Sitto, a volunteer at TCF Center. Sounds very legal. Very. And Nick said that there was a big data loss. Oh, you don't say. They started freaking out, stepped off the stage, got onto their phones. I asked what was going on, and they said it was taken care of. Nick sent Samuel over to the warehouse for about 3 hours, said Melissa Carone, her Dominion IT contractor. Uh-oh, Dominion, they said the magic word. What I believe is it wasn't a data loss. It was actually when they found out Trump was ahead by 100,000 votes, and they sent Nick over there to assist with these ballots that came in and those vans full of ballots. Now, we've heard about this before, but this is somebody who's actually had eyes on the vans. Interesting. No instances of widespread voter fraud. Remember that. I'm sure we all haven't heard that enough today or the past month. Oh, by the way, happy 1 month anniversary for the general election. Questioning session got hostile at times. Representative Cynthia Johnson said the witnesses should be under oath and said that they were lying. Well, bitch, if you look at the fucking affidavits that are there, you would understand that these testimonies that they gave were, in fact, under oath, and if they are proven to be lying, under threat of perjury. So, if you want to make a bigger dog and pony show out of this, please do it on your own time. Rudy Giuliani responded, saying that every witness in the hearing has presented Can I be a lawyer? Can I be on Trump's team? That'd be great. Which were made under oath on penalty of perjury. Point of order is to have them under oath, and I know they're lying, said State Representative Cynthia Johnson. Allow me to do a little research on the fly. There's Cynthia Johnson right there. And to nobody's surprise, she is an ornery old bitch who is a Democrat. Committee Chair Matt Hall, and there's Matt Hall, every leftist's nightmare, a straight white male, asked if there was so much fraud, why haven't more people come out to testify? Carone said that's because people's lives are destroyed if they do. Oh, just take a look at your own poll certifiers in Wayne County who were incessantly harassed in order to certify the results of the vote and then had to renege upon it because they actually wanted to follow their conscience and didn't want it to be pushed ahead by the Democratic hordes. But you know what? They call for unity, right? I'll tell you why. My life has been destroyed. My life has been completely destroyed because of this. I've lost family. I've lost friends. I've been threatened. My kids have been threatened. I had to move. I had to change my phone number. I've had to get rid of social media. Well, okay, so it's not all bad. Nobody wants to come forward and they're getting threatened. Their lives are getting ruined and I can't even get an actual job anymore, said Carone. Why do you think this fraud has been so easy to get away with, huh? Okay, if they just went in there and they just put in all of their fake ballots and yeah, oh, okay, oh, look, we found all this stuff. Oh, you guys, you're so bad. You shouldn't do that again. But when you're not even allowed to look at things or question the process without all those fucking screeching retards just showing up in front of your house, like they have in Portland, like they did to those certifiers in Michigan. And the only time that we actually see real instances of death threats is when they're coming to people on the right and then they put them up there. So, yeah. Otherwise, that's just kind of a tactic of the left to say, oh, I'm getting harassed by all of your online trolls. Well, let's see the receipts. And now, what are you, stupid? It's an easy claim to make in order to drum up sympathy for yourself. And that's why you always see those fucking baseless things. Jenna Ellis, the Trump campaign's senior legal advisor, said in Michigan State Legislature, it is very apparent the circus has only been on one side. Ellis said that honest, sincere, and forthright citizens were bringing their concerns to the legislature, but representatives were saying there are concerns, but only looking forward. She said the body was not doing their constitutionally obligated and mandated duty and urged them to carry out their roles. What the Constitution obligates you to do is to take back your plenary power because the certification was false, clearly, and forced to sign under duress, in the case of Wayne County. And you can do that, and you should do that, because you're obligated as state legislature, said Ellis. Giuliani was at the hearing, only saw a small portion of the witnesses, and there were many more who submitted affidavits. Once again, another big old stack of papers, and you can look through all of them, and a bunch of people have their names redacted because, I wonder why. It's because the left is so consumed with the idea of unity and an unquestioning allegiance to dear leader Biden. So yeah, we had real testimonies yesterday in Michigan, a whole big long procession of it. I think it was like 4 to 6 hours yesterday in front of the tribunal there. So that'll wrap up Michigan for the time being. I want to save Georgia to the end because that's where we got some real hot shit going on. We got a little bit more breaking news because now we get to go up to Wisconsin, where Wisconsin Supreme Court rejects Trump campaign lawsuit challenging election results. Now, I did say And I was 100% honest when I said this. We were done with all the bad news at the beginning with Pennsylvania. This is just another one of those instances where, okay, you have a complaint, and if you work at a relatively large company, it's like if you have a complaint with your coworker and you automatically take your complaint to the district manager. That's the only thing that the Supreme Court is really arguing here. Wisconsin's top court on Thursday rejected a lawsuit from President Donald Trump's campaign that sought to challenge the results of the election. The 4-3 ruling saw the court order the campaign to file an appeal to the circuit court. They said, hey, this isn't our job right now. It could be in the future, but you should probably take it to the Supreme Court first because time is of the essence, but don't bug us until you need us. Fucking judges are stupid. The 10-page ruling includes signed dissents from swing votes, with justices acknowledging there are valid concerns about how the election was conducted. Let's not just take their word for it. Let's take a look at the ruling itself and take a look at the big parts here. Here's the conclusion. I conclude that we have subject matter jurisdiction that enables us to grant the petition for the original action pending before us. Our jurisdiction arises from the Wisconsin Constitution and cannot be impeded by statute. See this subsection for furthermore, time is of the essence. These are 3 of the dissenting judges and not the 4 partisan hacks. However, fact-finding may be central to our evaluation of some of the questions presented, hence why they should take this case and put it into the circuit court where they'd be able to present evidence for their case, like is happening right now in Nevada, which we'll be talking about tomorrow as well. So, I agree that the circuit court should examine the record presented during the canvass to make factual findings where legal challenges to vote on the question of fact. However, I dissent because I would grant the petition for original action, refer for necessary factual findings to the circuit court, who would then report the factual findings to us, and we would decide the important legal questions presented. I am authorized to state that Justice Annette Kingsland Ziegler joins the dissent. Rebecca Grassel Bradley, J., also a dissenting justice. That's what the J stands for. It is emphatically the province and duty of the judicial department to say what the law is, according to previous lawsuit Marbury v. Madison from 1803 during Biden's first term in the Senate. The Wisconsin Supreme Court forsakes its duty to the people of the Wisconsin in declining to decide whether the election officials complied with Wisconsin's election laws in administering the November 3rd, 2020 election. This is not kind to their 4 fellow justices on the court here. It's rather excoriating, and I do like it. Instead, a majority of this court passively permits the Wisconsin Elections Commission to decree its own election rules, thereby overriding the will of the people as expressed in the election laws enacted by the people's elected representatives. Allowing 6 unelected commissioners to make the laws governing elections without the consent of the governed deals a death blow to democracy. I dissent. I love these 3 people. You gotta love people that just want to interpret the law as it's written and not just go all willy-nilly, because guess what? Our fucking guy won. The President of the United States challenges the legality of this manner in which certain Wisconsin election officials directed the casting of absentee ballots, asserting they adopted and implemented particular procedures in violation of Wisconsin law. The respondents implored this court to reject the challenge because, they argued, declaring the law at this point would retroactively change the rules after the election. It is the law that constitutes the rules of the election, and the election officials are bound to follow the law if we are to be governed by the rule of law and not of men. Powerful. Powerful, powerful, powerful. I will link to the rest of this Supreme Court ruling if you would also like to read through the rest of it, but that is the gist of it. Take it to the circuit court. You have a legally viable case before you. 3 of the 4 justices who aren't idiots have your back on this one. And guess how those 3 justices tend to vote? Yeah, I don't really need to finish a sentence on that one. Anyways, let's go through the rest of it. Justice Brian Hagedorn says he understood the impulse to address legal questions presented by the petition, but such questions needed to be addressed by lower courts. The parties clearly disagree on some basic factual issues, supported at times by completing affidavits. I do not know how we could address all the legal issues raised in the petition without sorting through these matters, a task we are neither well positioned nor institutionally designed to do. The statutory process aligns the responsibility of the circuit court, he wrote. Justice Patience Drake Roggensack wrote a dissenting opinion, though, that the Wisconsin Supreme Court does have a subject matter jurisdiction. However, fact-finding may be central to the evaluation of some of the questions presented. I agree that the circuit court should examine the record presented during the canvasses to make factual findings where legal challenges to vote turn on questions of fact. However, I dissent because I would grant the petition of the original action refer to the necessary factual findings of the circuit court, who would then report as factual findings to us, and we would decide the important legal questions presented, Roggensack wrote in an opinion joined by Justice Annette Ziegler. On resident AIDS patient, Governor Tony Evers, a Democrat, told reporters during a press briefing on Thursday, "I thought it was a good decision. I was frankly amazed it was not unanimous." Yeah, because you fucking circumvented the law, you pipe cleaner with glasses. It would have disenfranchised hundreds of thousands of people in the state of Wisconsin. Well, let's just redo the election then. How about that? If you're so concerned about all those voters out there that definitely 100% legally cast all their votes, even though 3 justices properly pointed out that you did indeed circumvent the law. Anyways, Wisconsin Supreme Court justices are elected 10-year terms in statewide nonpartisan April elections, according to the court's website. Vacancies are filled by the gubernatorial appointments, and the appointee is required to stand for an election for a full 10-year term during the next spring election for another justice isn't already on the ballot. I like it. I like it a lot. Wish every state was like that. Trump's campaign argued the lawsuit and the state election officials violated the law by improperly counting at least 170,140 ballots without the voter first submitting a written application stating why they were indefinitely confined. COVID is not an excuse. The campaign also alleged other irregularities concerning absentee ballots. That's just not my opinion. That's a part of the entire challenge for this, because you could say, oh, the coof, and all of a sudden get a mail-in ballot. Or, you know what, don't even worry about that. They just sent them out anyways. The commission said in the court filings that the concerns were untimely raised legal agreements, fuck off, and urged justices not to take the case, alleging it belonged in circuit court. Yeah, just keep bouncing it up, back and forth between the different courts and just run out the clock. We see how Democrats want to run this shit. State lawyers filing a response for Evers accused Trump's campaign of attempting to be a Nazi. Oh my God, orange dictator. No. Overturn the will of nearly 3.3 million Wisconsin voters, dead or alive, it doesn't much matter, in a shocking and outrageous assault on our democracy. Fuck off. They all just read from the same fucking playbook. I'm tired of this shit. You're assaulting our democracy. Well, you cheated. We have proof. We don't have any evidence of widespread proof. Fuck off. Here's your proof. And speaking of proof, Georgia State Farm Arena footage shows poll workers staying behind, pulling out suitcases with ballots. We're going to go to Georgia right now because I'm tired of reading that fucking Wisconsin ruling that'll either get sent back down to the circuit court, they'll rule on it, it'll get kicked back up to the Supreme Court if they find anything at the circuit court, and then it'll end up at, guess what? We're going to say it again, the Supreme Court of the United States. So, you know what? If they want to say that there's no proof of widespread voter fraud, voter irregularities, whatever that fucking line is at this point, I'm tired of it all. There's footage. President Donald Trump's legal team on Thursday presented surveillance footage of Georgia State Legislature's hearing that appears to show election ballot counting workers kicking out poll observers late at night on election day before pulling out what appears to be a suitcase allegedly filled with ballots. A woman who identified herself as Jackie Pick, a lawyer who is assisting in the legal case, said that the team received video footage from the State Farm Arena's vote tabulation center in Fulton County, Georgia. The team said that the GOP poll watchers weren't allowed to watch the counting process in the poll center. Wow. You hear that all the time, and they got the video proof on that one. But according to Pick, an unusual occurrence took place later in the evening at around 10 p.m. A woman described as a blonde woman with braids told the poll workers to stop counting and told everybody to go home. Yes, listen to Little Debbie and everybody can go home. Everyone clear out, including Republican observers and the press, but 4 people stayed behind and continued counting and tabulating well into the night, Pick said. They counted unobserved until about 1 a.m. That's definitely not something a fucking banana republic would do. Pick said the video footage shows Fulton County election workers waiting at their scanning areas until GOP poll watchers and reporters left the room before they started scanning ballots ostensibly without any observation. Pick noted the controversy states and county law. There we go. I got the video running here, so as you can see, I'd imagine that's probably the lady who told everybody, okay, it's time to go home. We're going to clean out a little bit. So now I'm just going to go ahead and move it ahead a bit, and we're going to find out where there's only just a few people left. Oh, hey, look at that. Yup, there are 4 people left. 4, 5, 6. 6 people left. Oh, okay. Probably just a couple of stragglers there, I'd imagine. Definitely nothing nefarious going on. Now, would there be? Yeah, look at that. Everybody else is all cleaned out. But, yeah, you still got poll watchers, or poll counters right up there. Just counting, tabulated. As you can see, one's, yeah, running through some ballots there. She looks like she's checking the regular paper ballots, and I don't know, Speedy Gonzalez here just keeps running back and forth. So at 11 p.m., once everybody is gone, the workers are seen pulling ballots out from underneath a table. She asked if it's normal to store suitcases of ballots under a tablecloth. I'm going to vote no on that one. Pick said after reviewing the footage, it is not normal procedure. Oh, okay, ding, ding, ding. Top 10 answers are on the board. It looks like, yeah, and the number 2 answer is counting ballots without anybody else present. It's not clear if the election workers knew they were being recorded on camera. I kinda don't think they did. The lawyer further alleged that the same woman with the blonde hair and braids, presumably a manager, either that or she wants to speak to one, had placed the table there earlier. It's not clear if these ballots came from, or where the ballots came from. I'd have a guess at that myself. And it's not clear whether the reported suitcase of thousands of ballots were placed under the table. Whether the suitcases or a special carrier for ballots is also not clear, to give the devil his due. Witnesses have sworn affidavits that the counting continued until the early morning hours, Trump's teams said. Well, we had the video footage there, and they also had the little time code up in the top left-hand corner of all of those 4 different angles that we got to see. So, as you can see, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Orange Man there. He not bad, though, because he got suitcase full of good Biden ballots, potentially. And here's Karen Top. A woman is seen carrying a suitcase allegedly filled with ballots without poll challenger supervision on the night of November 3rd, 2020, right there. Yep, there's your suitcase right there. Where are they counting them? And the place is cleared out with no witnesses. Ooh, can I answer? Oh, let's just get her response to this one. She argued that based on the number of ballots there is beyond the margin of victory in the presidential race. It's because these scanners, which can carry out several thousand ballot processes per hour, were working several hours that night. This process, she said, goes on and on and on and on and on. She gets stuck in a loop until the early morning hours, President Donald Trump said on Twitter that the video is significant evidence showing voter fraud. There you go. Not just because Trump said it, and it's because we got to see it with our own fucking eyes that some shady shit was happening. Why don't we get a full audit? Oh, I don't know, because Brian Kemp's a fucking retard. Governor of Georgia, by the way. Trump wrote, wow, blockbuster testimony taking place right now in Georgia. Ballot stuffing by Dems when Republicans were forced to leave the large counting rooms. Plenty more coming, but this alone leads to an easy win of the state. Oh, of course, we got to touch on Brad Raffensperger, that sissy bitch. Told reporters that this week that Fulton County cut corners during a second recount. No! Oh my God, is he maybe being honest? I don't trust that little beady-eyed fuck as far as I can throw him. Officials with the Secretary of State office said last month that they were seeing managerial sloppiness and chain of custody issues in the county. And if you also follow the work of Robert Barnes, which I cannot recommend highly enough, he was down there and got to see a lot of the shit that was happening in Georgia right there and said the exact same thing. So it's very nice of Brad Raffensperger to come out week after the recount took place and said, yeah, it probably wasn't as, thorough as we promised, but we sure as hell did it. And Trump, you lost fair and square. Stop asking questions. You're being mean to people down here. You need to denounce this. Shut up. Fulton County Board of Commissioners Chairman Rob Pitts challenged the criticism during the public hearing on Thursday, saying he would give the county an A+ for how it handled the election. I think Rob Pitts needs to invest the bottom of the naturally occurring phenomenon that his surname is derived from. A Fulton County spokeswoman hasn't responded to a request for comment about the Trump team's claims or the video. Yeah, they're probably still trying to draft something up. Orange Hitler, democracy challenging Biden good? There we go. Something like that. So yeah, so we got more Georgia hearings happening right now. That is just some of the breaking information coming out of that one. So we'll probably have to do a recap on what happened in Georgia, what happened in Arizona, because yeah, they're going to be taking a look at those 2,700 additional ballots when they found that the 2 out of the 100 duplicates were kind of fucked up. So we're going to have to touch back on Arizona here in the next day or two. Like I said, Georgia and Nevada, because they're having evidentiary hearings today, and because they are an hour behind me here, I'm not too sure where they're at in their court case right now, so probably have more information overnight into tomorrow. So it should be good. If you guys are still on the side of this election was a little bit fucked up, there is a lot of reasons to be very, very optimistic, probably because you have working sets of eyes and ears. And also, as the fucking media continues to dive bomb in public appeal, they'll just keep writing the same articles over and over again using the same lines of no evidence of widespread voter fraud. Everything has been thoroughly debunked. Why won't you just be Why won't you just be nice and, just concede the election already? It's because they realize that all this shit is finally coming to light. And just as a point of contention, can we just please, for the love of God, if anybody knows Linwood, he's a crazy motherfucker, and can he stop doing Donald Trump cosplay? Because that would really lend a lot of credibility to his case, okay? They have good information there. He's just making an asshole out of himself by parading around like that. Yeah, that's a wrap up for today, guys. Thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.